Happy Tuesday. Happy February 22nd, 2022. Happy 22222. Happy just day. I'm here. I'm just amazed, and I opened up my eyes this morning and I found out my book was on Amazon. Not that I didn't know that I written a book. It just took so long for me to self-publish it. I went through so many different things trying to do this on my own, and I'm so appreciative of all the support along the way. It hasn't been much, but and when I say it hasn't been much, I mean it hasn't been a lot of support, like a lot of people, but it was the people that is necessary to be here in my life during the journey. So I really appreciate it. I'm gonna start doing something with my hands or something, because you guys, I think I talked about having anxiety before. I know I did a few TikToks on it. I am going to be doing this while I talk to you guys about basically the process and why I wrote the book. So thank you for hitting like, share, and subscribe to my channel. My channel is about inspiration. Anything that's positive, I'm gonna bring it to you guys, because the world needs light in a lot of different areas. So why not share that with you, and you guys can share with me in the comments. So I'm coming to you straight barefaced is how we say it in the Caribbean. But I originally wrote this book because I was living in a shelter with my daughter in the Bronx, and we lived there for over a year. And I honestly, as positive as I was being in there and smiling during times that I was very depressed, and just going out, and trying to use different things as outlets, like, going to dance class, or like sometimes I would go out with friends, carrying my daughter to go to museums, anything that was free in New York City, anything that was free, honestly. In the summertime, I don't think people know that it's like the worst time to live in a shelter. It's like the most disgusting, hottest time. There's no air conditioning. Just the living situations of not having internet, not being able to have television and different things like that. Living with people that had a lot of mental health issues, and men and women. So I was in there for a very long time. I know that I don't think I mentioned it on my first video, but in the first video to the channel was explaining my journey in the shelter. But along the way of you telling these stories, in the moment I forget certain things. In the moment, it's just so much that you can only say in a short period of time. So it's just like, and then you just forget. Naturally, you just forget, or you remember later, or you just want to make sure that you're saying the most important thing like, honestly, I'm like, what can I do, what can I say to help somebody else? And today I'm gonna just speak. Like, whatever's meant to be said is going to be said. I'm not editing this. This is the first time I'm doing a video. Sometimes I start the video and I'm sounding a little bit off, so I'll stop and but anyway, I say all I had to say. I was in grad school because I actually had my bachelor's going into homelessness. In the first video, I spoke about my family situation and why that was the best route for me in the time, and survival, the survival that I had to do, because in that moment, our living situation was not the best mentally at all, and I had to leave. But In my last semester of being in grad school, I remember wanting to stop. I remember wanting to take off. There was people around me that actually took semesters off too, just for mental breaks, and I wanted to do the same thing. And I remember just one of my friends saying, "Yo, you got this far," and I just continued and I prayed, because honestly, it was really difficult to focus on going to, because I was student teaching, so I was not getting paid at all. I had no payment at all coming to me. I had to go to college at night. I brought my daughter, like, after I picked her up from school, after I student taught, I took her to night school with me. And then after that, traveling from Brooklyn all the way back to the Bronx is like 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, and it's late, and the Bronx is a pretty rough area, stand-up Bronx. But you have to be really tough to survive out there. And during the pandemic, when 2020, when the pandemic started, I was moving. I was being positive as I could, and I was just like, when the pandemic happened and everything shut down, I was like, all right, God, this is it. I'll be stuck here. I'm going to be stuck in this shelter for over a year. And I did my graduation. I actually graduated with my master's and still lived in the shelter. I actually had to ask for permission to stay out a little bit late to break curfew so I can celebrate, like, so I could go out to dinner. I'm like, the curfew was 9:00, and I asked, like you have to ask written permission to stay out longer. You had to get written permission, like, from supervisors. You had to tell them the address of where you're going, the time frame, who you're gonna be with. Like, you got to give them the phone number to the person that you're gonna be with. I mean, all right, so I started teaching, and I was still homeless, and then the lockdown came, and I just was like, wow, well, maybe it'll just be 2 weeks of pandemic. And the pandemic turned out to be, look, we we still in the pandemic, but at least we get to go outside now. But before, I personally gave up. That was the moment where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be here for a while. Let me just get comfortable. And before, I never wanted to get comfortable, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get real comfortable. I'm gonna get real comfortable in this space, because this is my house. And throughout the time, I had TikTok. So me and my daughters, like, I was new to TikTok just because of the pandemic. We was trying to find things to do in the house. And if you are a parent that have an only child, you are their friend. until you give them a sibling, or like, there's other things going on in your house, you they playmate, right? So we were trying to find things to do. So we had TikTok and all this other stuff. And as I was, trying my best to get comfortable in the spot where I was at, I just remember one day just getting fed up. Like, getting fed up with just being in the place. Like, there's so many things that go on in there. And I'm just like, yo, I'm really not supposed to be here, at least not for this long. And trying to find an apartment on my own in New York City was really hard, because, there's this thing called redlining and gentrification. And it makes it really hard for people of color, especially single mothers or single parents, to move into spaces. Like, they love to see multiple incomes, or they like to see certain things going on. So I just really got fed up, and I honestly prayed so hard. And I always prayed. I always had my space, my little corner where, I have my prayer space. Some people call it prayer closet, prayer space, whatever you want to call it, altar. You have your own section where you devote yourself, and that's it. So I just remember getting fed up, and I just was like, you know what? I'm really, really gonna pray and talk to God. Like, seriously, like, this is like how I'm talking to you. I'm gonna talk to God. And I said, and amongst of all the prayer and everything that I said and did, I recall one important thing I said that I was gonna do. And I said, listen, if you get me out of this place with an apartment, I am going to make sure that I honor your name. I'm going to make sure that I tell the world about God. Like, I'm going to tell them that you are the only person that was able to get me out. I tried so many things. I tried myself. I tried other people, like word of mouth. I tried so many things. I tried email. I was getting discriminated against with realtors. I was getting discriminated against with my case managers. And that is a whole nother video that I don't even think I'm ready to discuss, because some people will try to put you back. And not only caseworkers, I feel like in life, some people will see that you're moving forward and honestly try to plant seeds to set you back. But honestly, there's no way that anyone could stop what God has planned for you. And that is just why I'm here. That is why I'm here. You know, as soon as I was finished making that promise to God, I swear to you, the next day I got a call. And the call said I was moving. It sounds crazy, but it's real. Like, the next day. And guess what? They didn't have the logistics of everything. They didn't know where I was moving to. They didn't have the address or nothing. They just knew I was moving. They didn't know when, they didn't know where, they just knew it was like amongst like 3 different places. And I was like, okay. And I want to say, like, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't even tell my daughter. Because, you know, children, they're going to just run their mouth. And like I said, with jealousy, sometimes when people know some things about you, they will try to hinder what God has planned. And no, they can't hinder it. But I was making sure that they didn't even want to try. Okay? So I waited, and I want to say 2 weeks later, in the pandemic, where everything was closed, where you couldn't, I remember not even have my social security card. I didn't have it. I had to, like, and they need those kind of things, but, you know, copies of them, but everything was closed. Like, I remember calling numbers being on holds, like signing the lease to place it, a place where, signing a lease. We signed a lease to this place, and I didn't even know the address. I never looked at it or anything. They wouldn't tell me. Okay? That's how it was. Like, I honestly walked in here, and it was a surprise. And I'm just so grateful for it. Like, this happened 2022. We're now in... No, this happened 2020. So we're now in 2022, and I'm so grateful. Throughout the year, like, honestly, it took me a little bit to start the book, because I really didn't know what to do. I was like, man, I need to talk to like adults. But then I'm just like, no, I honestly, I can talk to adults and through children through the book, because, you know, as adults, we want to know what our children are reading. And then this channel is really for adults and, you know, whoever, it's all ages, because I teach high school. So I'm a high school educator. So I teach 9th through 12th grade. So, like, whatever I talk about on here could be for all ages. I mean, unless I put it in a disclaimer. And still, like, even when I'm talking, I'm such a mom that I'm still thinking, like, at any given time, a teenager or somebody could be watching this. So I have to be mindful of what I'm saying. So anyway, once I got the direction of, you know, who I was going to talk to, like, I was going to talk to children, then I just thought about, man, like there's so many things I want to say, but how can I make it childlike? So this is my first book, and I say my first book because there's so many things that I want to say that I know that I'm already working on something else, but I know that this is not going to be my only book. And I never thought that I would be an author. Never. Like, in high school, I was not a nerd. I was not at all. And that would be a video of how I was in high school another time. But I just really hope that everyone enjoys the book. I try to put different diasporas in the book, like the teacher being Hispanic. There is someone that is Muslim in the book. I just try to just put different diasporas that you don't normally see in children's books there, because there's not enough people that look like us in children's books, and I just wanted to change the narrative. I'm so glad that I was able to put it out Black History Month, because I wrote the book and I was finished with it over the summer, but it was just the process of finding a Black illustrator, okay, that because there's so many illustrators that are not, and that are also drawing our images. And then it was just the process of just going through how to put my book through, like self-publish the book. That might need, if you guys want to hear about that, you can write it in the comments. I'm only going to do videos if I hear feedback. If I don't hear feedback from anyone, I'm not gonna just do a video just because, excuse me, I need to hear feedback from everybody. So please, like, if you want me to talk about something and I feel like, okay, I'm well versed with this is something that I know how to do, or this is something I've been through, I will definitely do the video. If not, then I cannot do the video, because what's the sense, right? This channel is here to help others. I'm learning. You're learning as well if you're on YouTube. Like, YouTube, I think, is about learning. I mean, at least that's what I use it for. So anyway, I say all this to say thank you so much for everybody that has been posting my book on Instagram. Thank you for following me on Instagram. My nails are, don't even, like, I'm without this is me, okay? It's a lot to maintain, and it's a lot to get your nails done and all this at all times. Listen, this is me. This is what's going on. What time is it? Oh my God, it's almost 2:22. I'm gonna end this video right now so I can say my little prayer, my little manifestation. You guys have a wonderful day. I am gonna upload another video. So on this 2/22 day, 2022 day, I'm gonna upload 2 videos. So the next one is gonna be a topic that I did on my Instagram live the other day. I'm gonna just upload that. You guys have a wonderful, amazing day. I hope that everything that you're manifesting comes to fruition. I hope many blessings and love to your families. I just wish you all the best and love, and I hope that you are in peace. And just, if you are at a breaking point where you feel like giving up, just know that everyone gets there, and just keep pushing. Don't give up. God is there for you. Make sure that you have a good relationship with God. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, and peace and love, everybody. I'm out.